Welcome back to Data Cloud Now's live coverage of Snowflake Summit in San Francisco, the world's largest data and AI conference. I'm delighted to be joined by my co-host, DCN's DevRel and community correspondent, Elsa Mayer. And it is my absolute pleasure to invite some familiar faces back to the program. We are joined by Andrew Ng, founder and CEO of LandingAI, and Dan Maloney, Chief Operating Officer at LandingAI. Gentlemen, welcome back to Data Cloud Now.
Great to be back.
Thanks for having us, Ryan. Thanks, Elsa.
Dan, LandingAI's cutting-edge software platform makes computer vision easy for a wide range of applications across all industries. From a macro perspective, what trends are you noticing across your customer base?
Yeah, well, what's really interesting is, I think in computer vision, people classically have spent a lot of time focusing in, I'll say, more traditional verticals like manufacturing and industrial automation, looking for vision quality control systems when you're building smartphones on the production line or automotive. What's really been exciting, I would say, over the past several years is visual AI has really gone beyond kind of classic, the manufacturing, industrial automation, even where we started. And I'm now seeing it in life sciences. I'm seeing it in healthcare around, helping to detect cancers earlier. I'm seeing it across, CPG. We're seeing it in different types of imagery and videos with satellite imagery, with thermal imagery from drones. So really the rise of unstructured data, specifically around image and video, is really unprecedented just here in the past couple of years, and then blending that really with multimodality, so other modalities around that to be able to get a better answer to the questions that industry and users are asking.
That's great, Dan. Andrew, you just delivered a luminary talk on the main stage for Dev Day. What were some of the highlights?
So I was excited to chat with Sridhar about the partnership between Snowflake and LandingAI about putting LandingLens, machine learning software, building that as a Snowflake native app, and more things I hope we'll do together. And I feel like one mega trend I'm excited about in AI is AI agents, in which with Gen AI, rather than prompting a large language model to try to give it an output directly, we can prompt it in a more iterative way to do some work, examine some work, revise its work, and get much better results. And so one thing that LandingAI just released as open source literally days ago, this was the first time I ever spoke about it publicly, is our Vision Agent, which is software that lets you write a prompt, give it a visual task, and it will write code to try to accomplish that task for you. So it was really nice to see the I was happy to see the positive reception of the developers to play with these ideas and hopefully work together to make them better.
It's clearly all taking place here at Dev Day today. Andrew, taking a step back for a moment, people can easily conceptualize the value of Gen AI in everyday life. What do you think data leaders are missing about how enterprise AI can positively impact industries and the broader economy?
One challenge of AI is, as a general purpose technology, is useful for so many different things. And so for a lot of businesses, there's a lot of work to do to look at the data you have, figure the use cases, and derive value from it. And even though most businesses have not yet finished using previous generations of technology, Gen AI has created new opportunities. And I think, as Dan was mentioning, historically a lot of AI machine learning was on structured data, kind of tables of data, very valuable, let's keep on doing that. But with Gen AI and transformers and vision transformers, the new trend and the really new set of capabilities is processing unstructured data as well. By volume, most of the world's data is unstructured data, things like images, video, text. And Gen AI has dramatically lowered the barrier to processing that. So I'd like to think about all the businesses in healthcare, satellite imagery, life sciences, manufacturing, with already maybe so much data sitting around in some cloud somewhere, that the tool now exists to process all that data and maybe go from unstructured to structured, or even derive new use cases and create a lot of value. So it's been very exciting here at this event, hearing the buzz around that expansion from a lot of work on structured data, which is very valuable and continues to be, to also dealing with a lot more unstructured data.
That's great perspective, Andrew. So Dan, bringing it back to Andrew's recent presentation, What work is LandingAI doing with regards to agentic workflows, and is there any advice you'd like to give the audience on how to best implement them across their respective organizations?
Yeah, first of all, I think what's really exciting is, Andrew mentioned a little bit around what LandingAI has been doing in the native app that we've recently built with Snowflake, which is really enabling Snowflake enterprises to get going with visual AI starting today. One of the reasons, though, we've been working so closely over the past 6-9 months on vision agents and agentic reasoning is because even with LandingLens, you still can't deliver the complete solutions that enterprises are looking for. So really the birth of vision agents and the agentic reasoning that we've been focused on is really to help enterprises complement the LandingLens solution and the Snowflake solution that really might get an enterprise maybe 70-80% of where they need to be. So with Andrew and the team focused heavily on the vision agent and agentic reasoning and open sourcing that today, we've really given enterprises now the same way they did with open source models around working with OpenAI or working with Mistral or what Meta did with Llama and Lava, et cetera. We've now open sourced the vision agent so enterprises can really start applying that complementary to what we've done with the LandingLens native app and Snowflake more broadly. So I would just encourage them to get out there, experiment with it, see where it works well. As Andrew even said in his talk, there's a lot of places where it does amazing things and there's a few areas where it's not so great yet. It's still young, it's fragile, but it's getting better. So I'd say jump in, like I said, hit the open source and experiment with it.
I love that. Jump in indeed, gentlemen. Such a pleasure having you back on Data Cloud Now. Before we wrap here today, what's next for LandingAI? Andrew, let's start with you.
LandingAI does a lot of work in visual AI, and I feel like just over the last few days, the amount of buzz from Snowflake users on using LandingLens as a native app, it was actually very exciting to see that positive reception. So frankly, I think we're going to be in for a period of, just hard implementation work, of just get this working. I think that Dan and I have been talking a lot about building large vision models. It turns out that one interesting trend for large language models is internet text sounds a lot like corporate text. So LLMs trained on internet text works for corporate text. But we see some businesses have proprietary images where your images look different enough from internet images that training a custom large vision model makes sense. So I think that's exciting as well. And then, as Dan mentioned, for Vision Agent, we're in the early days. It works sometimes, doesn't work all the time, but we're iterating constantly and hopefully working with the broader community, we can all go faster together to build up vision agents to become much better. So it's been a fast-moving, year, but I think the next year will be even faster moving, so that's exciting.
Looking forward to see it. Dan, from your seat.
Yeah, I'll say one of my main focuses, Andrew is driving a lot of the deep tech with the group and he's continuing to innovate. One of the core things I'm trying to do is make sure that innovation that he's doing, we're putting that seamlessly, by the way, back into Snowflake so it gets into the hands of the 10,000 plus, customers in an easier fashion. So it's one thing to innovate quickly, but you also have to make sure you make it simple and easy for the market to consume. So I think that's why the partnership with Snowflake is so key. Native app was step one, LVMs are coming around the corner, vision agents, and we want to work with Snowflake to put it in the hands of as many people as possible.
It's an exciting next chapter indeed, gentlemen. Great to have you back on Data Cloud Now.
Thanks so much.
And for the audience watching, I'm Ryan Green.
I'm Elsa Mayer.
And this is Data Cloud Now.